Alright, so I decided to start this because I have tardive dyskinesia, and apparently not a lot's known about it. I was diagnosed 2 years ago. For those who don't know, tardive dyskinesia is a rare neurological disorder, and it's caused by antipsychotics like Haldol, Seroquel, Abilify, things like that. It's also caused by certain stomach medication. There's a whole list somewhere. But it's considered a rare condition, and it is an involuntary movement disorder. Basically, you can be sitting there fine, talking whatever with your friends, and the next minute you are violently twitching. It can start out of nowhere. You can have symptoms leading up to it. There's no telling. It's just kind of out of nowhere. I was diagnosed after I admitted myself into a psych facility because Neuro had no idea. They were clueless. And when I talked to my psych doctor, he accused me of abusing drugs and told me, withdrawals are a bitch, you'll get over it, I'll see you in 8 weeks. So, after 2 months of twitching, I checked myself in, and they were like, oh, you have tardive dyskinesia, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, I got, sorry, I fell down my shirt. I got confirmation of diagnosis 6 months later by my psych doctor. My primary confirmed it. My new neuro confirmed. Like, all the doctors like, oh no, you definitely have this. Like, you fit all the criteria. With me, I woke up, I felt like I had the flu. And then, like, sorry. And then about an hour later, I started twitching and shaking. It wasn't bad, it was just annoying, and I told my husband that I was feeling worse. So he told me to take it easy and relax, whatever. Well, about an hour later, it looked like I was having a full-blown seizure. But I was able to talk with him, I was able to whatever. I couldn't drive though, because I didn't know what it was, I didn't know where it came from, and I didn't want to risk wrecking my car, destroying someone's life, all that stuff. I went to the ER, they told me to stop 2 or 3 of the medicines I was on, and sent me home with a new medication. They said, oh, this should help calm it down. Follow up with your neurologist and your psychiatrist. And it took me like a month to get in with even one of them. When I went, they were, like I said, psych accused me of abusing drugs and going through withdrawals. Neuro was clueless. It went on like another month, and I checked myself in. I was scared. I was pissed. Pissed isn't even the word. I was irate. And then I was in psych for like 3 days. They did put me on a Baker Act hold, but they wanted to keep me to basically try something new with me, which I'm still on that medicine. And that was 2 years ago. I mean, it works and it doesn't. If I miss a dose by more than 3 hours, I start violently twitching. Sometimes, even with taking my dose on time, I still twitch. I still shake. I still have the involuntary movements. And I have to see not only a general neuro, I have to see a movement disorder neuro in about 3 or 4 weeks. I am at this point considering any options as far as treatment. Most of the treatment options that I have found are this medication called Ingrezza, which if my insurance doesn't cover it, it's like $5,400 for 30 pills at 40 milligrams. And that's through GoodRx. Yeah, they basically expect you to sell an organ to be able to pay for this medication if your insurance doesn't cover it. I don't know, maybe they do that because they think that more people will want to be on it if it's new and expensive. No, that's actually a really big deterrent. Another option that I found was benzodiazepines, things like Klonopin and such. But those are extremely addictive. They're not worth the crap that comes with it. What else? I also saw something called DBS, deep brain stimulation. That's honestly the one I'm considering most at this point because I'm extremely sensitive to medication reactions. Like, stupid sensitive. And basically what DBS or deep brain stimulation is they put a neurotransmitter in your brain and they run down to a little generator that would go like right here, basically where my star is. My star is screwed if I get the surgery. And then it will basically try and fix the misfires, if I understand it correctly. It's pretty much a pacemaker for your brain. It's the best way I can really describe it. Think of how what a pacemaker does to the heart. This is going to do the same thing to my brain. So, that's what I'm considering. I'm horrible about medication. And I'm typically out for long periods of time, so it's harder for me to keep track of taking medication. Usually I'm like, oh, I'm going out for a couple of hours to do blah, blah, blah. And 8 hours later, I'm somehow still not home. So, let me make this clear. I am not a doctor. I have no medical training. I know what I have researched. As of right now, I cannot take psych meds. I have bipolar. I have... Hold on. I have bipolar disorder. I have anxiety. I have panic attacks. I have depression. I have post-traumatic stress disorder. And I can take nothing. I also have nightmares and insomnia, so I can take nothing. I'm basically stuck, sucking it up. I do write. I write for a site called The Mighty. You can find me on there. My name is wherever it is on my YouTube page up there. Okay. I don't know. But I write on The Mighty. I write about tardive dyskinesia. I write about mental health. And that's honestly what has prompted this. I feel that there's so little information out there about tardive dyskinesia, and there needs to be more. There needs to be more people speaking up. There needs to be more people advocating for people to be properly diagnosed. Psych doctors don't want to tell you you have TD. Am I saying all psych meds are going to cause it? No. Everyone's body and brain will process meds differently. There's people that have been on Haldol or Abilify or Seroquel for years. No problems. There's people that are on one of those for 6 months. and they end up with TD. It's basically when you take new meds, or I guess psych meds in general, you're playing Russian roulette. All meds have a chance of serious side effects. In my case, my serious side effect is TD. I actually had an episode tonight, and I'm still hurting from it. It feels like I got hit by 8 trucks simultaneously and then thrown against a brick wall. But go ahead, follow me on here, and probably once a week or so I'll be doing a video. It just kind of depends how I'm feeling. Hope everyone has a good night.